Good morning and welcome to Kramer's Corner with the daily technical update. It is Thursday, the 9th of October, and well, let's see what's in store for us today. We saw the Nasdaq 100 bounced higher. Oh, by the way, I have to tell you that this video is for educational purpose only. There is no recommendation or advice whatsoever intended. It's purely to demonstrate how I try to read the market using technical analysis and my experience. So, Nasdaq 100, new all-time high, strong bounce yesterday and could continue a little bit further. There is divergence here on the RSI as we have seen for quite some time, but again, trust the trend. We are still in this rising channel like pattern there, and as long as we stay above this rising trend line here, well, then expect markets to move higher. If it breaks below, well, we could see a correction unfolding, but we are in a bullish trend until we break below 24,186 as it stands at the moment. Pre-market basically unchanged. So let's have a look at the other markets like S&P 500, also higher levels yesterday. Let's zoom in a little bit there. Also above its rising trend line. Dow Jones, well, a little bit the same picture. If I have drawn a trend line here, which I can easily do, then you can see how it actually what it looks like right there. So still in a strong trend. No all-time high on Dow Jones yesterday though, but still it is in a rising trend. We had the RSI breaking above its falling trend line, so it could be a sign that we could push higher. The S&P 500 RSI is still just below its falling trend line, so we are stretched. There is divergence. So we should be a little bit cautious, but again, trust the trends. Moving on to the Asian markets, on Hang Seng, still a little bit in a correction mode here. I still believe we could see it pushing higher, and if we do this, we just adjust this one thing. We see maybe we can get some pointers to see where it could correct to. So we have a correction down to the 61.8 at 26,530 for now. The Nikkei had a correction over a couple of days, but has pushed higher, so it seems to be continuing. It has cancelled its divergence on the RSI, so there is potential higher. Maybe we should see Nikkei hitting 50,000 quite shortly. That could be something. In the European markets, we also had a correction, but yesterday it bounced strongly back. Buyers were from the get-go taking control and had control basically throughout the entire trading session, and is likely to push higher. So as long as we stay above the lows from yesterday, and we can actually draw a trend line here, so we can draw two trend lines. We can draw this one, and it actually kept the gap. It didn't close the gap. It was very close to, as we can see, but it stayed about, and very strong signal indeed. Pre-markets basically a little bit unchanged, crawling up a little bit, and I think we'll see that the next few days. There's no divergence on the EuroStoxx50, indicating likely higher levels. DAX, you can see it tested the previous peak there at 24,639, and I wouldn't be surprised to see it pushing higher, because we now have also RSI showing a very strong positive sentiment. There's no divergence, indicating likely higher levels, and could crawl up to what's 25,000 here pre-market, also a little bit higher like it is on the EUROStoxx50. So fairly strong stock markets in general. Moving on to the FX market and euro dollar. Well, excuse me, and euro dollar. We have euro dollar that is now below the rising trend line there. Still a little bit above the cloud, but let's adjust this. I'll remove this to see. We are flirting with the 40 threshold on the RSI. So a close below on the RSI 40, and below 115.80 here on that is a key support for your dollar that you should observe. So keep an eye on that. Will it bounce off, or will it actually take it out? The sterling dollar is being sold off here. So 133 and a quarter, that area, just support down there is quite key and could be tested possibly today or tomorrow, but it could be tested before the weekend. If it takes it out, well, then we are looking for lower levels towards 132. Euro sterling, well, bouncing off the rising trend line and the 61.8 retracement. As we can see here, if I zoom in a little bit, see 61.8 just hitting it and the rising trend line and is bouncing. So possibly we could see it resuming uptrend. I wouldn't be surprised to see that really. However, if it takes out the lows from yesterday, they're at 66.50. Well, then downtrend is back in session, but it seems like we are bouncing here. So if it can stay and crawl back above, just about the cloud also, and positive sentiment. So no. So it's pointing to a fairly strong bounce there. Dollar yen, and I think we need to have a look at the weekly charts too. So if we just add the weekly chart, you can see that strong break up there. So there's potential higher, and we need to go then zoom out on the daily chart to see where we have some levels. Not until around 154.80, around that level. So there is actually potential up there, and I think we could see it being reached here in a couple of weeks possibly. I think we will see some corrections, but it seems fairly strong at the moment. These yen moves there. Euro yen also a very strong move indeed, and let's just have a zoom in a little bit. On its way out of the picture or the frame, hitting 200% of this correction here, so hitting that just below, just around 178. We were just a few pips from it. Looking at the weekly, we can see it's taking out the 2024 peak, and we have to zoom really far back, and I think we have to go back 30 years to see levels like this. I would expect a little bit of correction. There's still divergence, and you can see the RSI here on the daily is slightly falling, but this is a strong push and also broken above its trend line. So I think we'll see higher levels in the coming weeks on Euro yen. The Aussie yen also crawling higher, fast approaching 102.40 area. So what we're talking about is this consolidation area where there was a peak up there. So we could also hit it just in this range. That's where we're trading now. There is potential higher. Little bit stretched, but a minor correction is not unlikely, and then I think we'll see it push higher towards the 102.40 area. The sterling yen also, you can see there on the daily chart, it hit 200% of this correction here. Let's just adjust that so easy to see it. And is fast approaching the 2025 peak. 2024 peak there at 208, and it's I think we'll reach it within a couple of weeks. There will of course be some corrections on the way, so please be aware of that. Excuse me. The Aussie dollar. 66.30 resistance could slide down to around the 65.20, but there's positive sentiment on the RSI, so I think it's a matter of time before it actually breaks out above. We're above the cloud, we're above all moving averages, which is slightly rising. The 55 is just more or less flat maybe now. So that is key resistance to keep an eye on. Dollar Canada still has room up to 140 and a quarter. Support 138.95. If it breaks below that, then we are in for a correction that could take it below 138. Sterling Canada, well, it couldn't break above the 188.45 area, so now it's setting back and is currently testing the 61.8 retracement. I think it could slide all the way back to a 186 at the 786 retracement, and then I think we'll see a bounce. We have the 55 moving average coming up there. So moving on to the Swiss franc. Swiss franc again, I think it dipped just below 93 yesterday with a few. It did 92, 94. It's still in this slightly bearish trend there. RSI bank was below 40 threshold, so we also had negative sentiment, so we could see it sliding lower. But that, on the other hand, this one was actually a bullish engulfing there, so it also indicates a bottom and a reversal, but where we have strong resistance up here in the area around the cloud here, just above 93.55 level. Dollar Swiss is likely to test, maybe I should just zoom in so we can see it a little bit better there. Just zoom in at 80.40, the 61.8 retracement and the 100 moving average coming down there. So I think we can see it pushing up there, possibly today. If RSI closes back above 60 threshold, well, then there's potential higher, but a little bit of a setback should be expected, and then we could maybe see it having another go. Could also slide lower, but so keep an eye on 80.40 level there. That is key. The dollar index, that is a little bit slow. Testing the 98.73 resistance at the moment, but RSI closed, I think, yesterday above 60. Yes, it did. So there is potential higher for the excuse me, for the dollar index at the moment, but let's see, maybe a little bit of a setback down to around 98 can't be ruled out. But if it takes out the peak from yesterday, well, then the uptrend is likely to continue towards 100 level. Moving on to the talk of the town once again, and gold that has pushed to new all-time high. It's well above 4,000. Dipped maybe below this morning. No, just a touch 4,001. And yes, I can show you a weekly chart, a monthly chart, or whatever, but this is all-time high, and it is massive move. It now hit 161.8, extension of this triangle-like pattern here. So what I have done, I measured from the top to the bottom and added to the breakout price, and then we have reached 4,030 and then some. We actually hit 4,060 almost, and I think we could continue higher, so maybe we could also put in at 200% on this one, and then we can see where that goes to. So if I just put that in, let me put it in there and replace this one, then we see that's 41.75. That is not unlikely. We can also put in another one. We can put in, let me put in a new one, the 1764. There we are, which is around 4,085. So a really strong move on the gold market. Also silver that had a bit of correction, pushing higher, and it's just very few pips from its previous peak. And let's see if we can zoom into that. That would be a little. We'll have to zoom out really far, as you can see here. That was 48. Let's see, there we are. We need to zoom in. I think it was 48.80. No, 49.84. So we are very close to, as we can see yesterday, 49.55, and I think we will test it, but very stretched here, as you can see on the RSI, indicating we could see a little bit of correction, maybe even a larger correction, because the market is so far away from all its moving average. They have to catch up eventually, but it's just not now. Platinum also pushed higher, but it's stalling a little bit. We can also see RSI is flattening out a little bit, so maybe we are in for a correction. We hit the 176.4 projection, but still a bullish trend as long as we stay above 15.28. On copper, well, copper, and let me just zoom in on this one. Here we are. It's currently above its resistance at 515, and I think we'll see a push higher towards the 61.8 retracement at 533.75. This level here, we could see that fairly soon, but expect corrections though. The oil market, well, really not much to say. We are in a little bit of correction, but in a bearish trend, and the same here on the Brent Crude oil, of course, bounced to the 38.2 retracement, but I think we could see it up to maybe 67, 68. Not quite sure we'll get it all the way up there, but let's see. I think we will see it resuming downtrend fairly shortly. We have the European nat gas setting back after being rejected there at 33.44. I removed this one. This is just noise now. So this is the range between 31 and 34.5. I will actually adjust it a little bit so we can see this peak up there around 33.60. It didn't break above the resistance. It just tested a couple of times. US nat gas setting back to the 327, which is the 38.2 retracement, and the 100 moving out. So I think we'll see a little bit of a bounce there, but could slide back to 319, 320. Moving on to the yields market or interest rates, we have the US 10-year Treasury yield that is still in this range here between around 4.06 and 4.20. Breakout needed for direction. On the European yields, and let's just adjust this a little bit, so we need to go down. There we are. So we see the European 10-year setting back to the 786 retracement there, and then has bounced. If it takes out the lows from yesterday, well, we could see the 263 support being tested, maybe down to 260. I'm not quite sure to get that, but if it moves back above 274, well, then we are looking at 280 area. UK 10, well, it is still the resistance there at 278. That is key. Japanese yields are still crawling slowly higher in this bullish trend there. Bitcoin onto that, stalling a little bit after reaching all-time high, but I think we'll see it pushing higher in the coming days and weeks. Positive sentiment on the RSI, no divergence indicating higher levels. And finally on Ethereum, well, it is also very close to its all-time high, but got rejected there at the resistance there at 4,768.67, and setting back a little bit to the 55 moving average and the 61.8 level there. So little bit of setback. We could see further setback, but if it takes out the peak there at 3,700, let's say 4,770, well, then we will likely see a new all-time high. All right, that's all for today. Have a nice day and talk to you again tomorrow.